I think it's fair to say that Fallout 76 is one of 2018's most anticipated titles, and while also riding on its fair share of skepticism, there's no doubt it's looking to be one of the year's biggest games. We are just over 2 months away from the release of the game, and as we inch closer and closer to the release, we are learning more and more about the game. In this video, I want to take you through 11 massive gameplay details we already know about the game. And as we learn more in the future, we will upload another video probably closer to the beta, but for now, let's get right into this. Number 1, first of all, there's been a lot made about the size and scope of this game. With Fallout transitioning to an online model, you're gonna need a bigger world acting as a hub for all the players, and Fallout 4 was a pretty big game, but it looks like that is a far cry from what we are to expect in Fallout 76. In fact, it is said that Fallout 76's world is 4 times the size of that was present in Fallout 4. Now, to me, that sounds absolutely massive. It'll be interesting to see how much of this world is alive and vibrant, and whether or not it just starts feeling like empty space. As we've seen in the past, the bigger and bigger these games get, the more and more diluted the content gets. The content essentially is spread thinner. Now, of course, with the online aspect, that will be satiated to an extent, but we'll have to wait and see how the massive scope of this game impacts the actual experience. Number 2, building off the last point, the world of Fallout 76, of course, is modeled after West Virginia and features recreations of several real-world locations, including the West Virginia State Capitol, the Greenbrier, Woodburn Circle, Camden Park, and more. The game itself is also broken into 6 distinct regions, each of which will have its own unique appearance and potential risks to your character.
With their own style, risks, and rewards. There's plenty of cool new Fallout creatures, and we even use the folklore of West Virginia to bring our Fallout versions to life.
Number 3, now one element of the game that has been striking up some controversy recently is the fact that the game will not feature any human NPCs, as all the surviving humans will be real online players. So how is this story exactly going to be told? Well, it's a little interesting. It'll be told using a combination of robot NPCs, recordings such as collectible holotapes, terminals throughout the world, environmental storytelling where the player uncovers fragments of the narrative by exploring various locations, which they will then piece together themselves. So it very much is more of an experience that leaves you to your own devices. That might turn some people off. Some people might get very excited at that notion. What you can say is the fact that it's very different than your typical Fallout outing. Number 4, of course the multiplayer is a big aspect of Fallout 76, but the game in its entirety can be played solo. However, given the fact that the game was designed with multiplayer in mind, your best bet is probably to take the game online. As far as how big your party can be while playing online, you can team up with 3 other players to take on the journey together. Number 5, the thought of going online in a Fallout game might scare off some people because, of course, some people won't be as nice to you and might just kill you. Well, don't fret, there are measures Bethesda has implemented to prevent this to a large extent. For example, a wanted system putting bounties on those that are doing such heinous acts. Also, if you want to completely eliminate the issue, Todd Howard has said that there are plans to add private servers after launch. This will allow you to just invite the players you want to play with and prevent the griefing altogether. To me, that kind of seems to segment out the experience. However, if private servers are added, that'll be a very nice addition. Number 6, another element of Fallout 76 that has been garnering some negative reception is its progression system. Character attributes will fall into one of 7 entries. Reminiscent of previous entries, this includes strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. As you level up, you'll be able to spend skill points to boost your attributes on a scale of 1 to 15. Now, while that sounds all fine and good, the real talking point is the perk system. Yes, you'll be able to choose perks or passive abilities that offer unique gameplay bonuses. These perks are in special categories and are displayed as trading cards. Each card has a value and the player can adopt perks equal to their respective value. If you have a strength rating of 10, you can equip strength perks of 10 and so on. You also have the option of merging similar perk cards to create more powerful perks. Now, the fact the game includes cards cards and card packs might scare off a ton of people into thinking the game is going to be riddled with these microtransactions on that front, and considering we've seen digital cards take the gaming world by storm, I can understand that fear. However, that is not the case with Fallout 76. You will acquire the cards as you play the game. If you could actually spend money and get more cards, that would be an absolutely insane gameplay advantage, so thankfully that is not the case. That would be horrible.
Rank up.
Okay.
So you can pick that card again. So by picking Gladiator again, you can then combine that card with the other one to create a more powerful version, but it costs more points.
Right.
So sometimes you may decide, well, I only want the 1-point version equipped for my character build versus the more powerful 2-point version because I'm using my strength stats in some other way. Yeah, so I think that probably makes sense, yes. I hope.
But there's more than 4.
So here we are, and you'll see a character that's much further along, picking Charisma. We can talk about Charisma, is interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a perk that lets mutations act better with groups. And so you can pick any perk that you meet the requirements for when you level up. There's no randomness there. And here's what it looks like with a character that's further along. We've upped the cap for each special to 15.
Number 7, Fallout 76 will expand upon Fallout 4's settlement system by allowing players to build bases anywhere in the entirety of the map. These creations will then be assigned to the player's profile and will be removed from the game's world when the player is offline to prevent progress from being lost. Now, your settlements won't be completely safe as other players will be able to attack them while online. However, the game will preserve player creations in some form to prevent players from having to start over if their creations and progress are destroyed.
The home of tomorrow may undergo certain challenges. After a crisis, work with your neighbors to ensure success. There's no I in nuclear wasteland.
Number 8, considering the enormity of this game, one new item you'll have access to is the Construction and Assembly mobile platform, otherwise known as CAMP. It's a mobile crafting platform you can move from place to place at any time, and it'll assist you with crafting items, weapons, and more. So luckily, this means you probably don't have to be stuck in the middle of some part of the game's world and lose access to crafting. That's a very nice addition. Number 9, now of course there are some things you can do in Fallout 76 that will have drastic consequences, and one of those include the ability to use nuclear weapons to reshape the game's world. After you get the launch codes, you can fire a missile anywhere on the map. This will annihilate that area, causing it to become irradiated. You can then go to this area, explore, and then find rare gears, weapons, and items. However, performing this nuclear strike will have its drawbacks. It'll actually attract powerful enemies, and players will need to be heavily equipped and strong enough to survive the encounters. So while that nugget of getting rare weapons, gear, and items is very enticing, at the same time you have to weigh the risk of fighting these more powerful enemies. So if you launch a nuclear strike, gear up and get some friends if you want to survive through it.
The fate of this new world is yours to command with the power of the atom.
Number 10, with Fallout 76 featuring a drastic shift in design, there would need to be some alterations made, and that's why the game uses a modified version of Bethesda's creation engine. Not only does it accommodate the new multiplayer gameplay, but this modified engine also allows developers to incorporate new lighting models, rendering processes, and more accurate terrain mapping. The engine also allowed the development team to create a world with 16 times more detail than was possible with previous iterations of the creation engine. Also included thanks to the engine is a dynamic weather system that allows for localized climatic conditions and a greater draw distance. While visually the game is seen to be very similar to Fallout 4, that's been one of the recurring comments that I've been seeing in regards to Fallout 76. You can see that under the hood there have been a bevy of new modifications. And finally, number 11, considering Fallout 76 is this epic journey for you to embark on with your friends, you'll want to capture some of your favorite moments, and you can do just that with the included photo mode. At any time you can pause the game and take photographs that can be saved and shared as a slideshow during during loading screens. You also have the ability to pose your character and choose from a variety of different expressions and camera filters. Not a massive addition, but something that will be appreciated by a sector of the player base. So that concludes this video. Those are 11 huge gameplay details about Fallout 76. What do you think? Does this sell you on Fallout 76? Have you learned a little bit more about the game, and is it changing things up for the better for you? Were you already convinced in picking it up, or have you not yet made up your mind? You've still got quite a bit of time to come to a decision, and remember, there is a beta that will be beginning in October, and that will include the entirety of the game, and your progress from the beta will carry over into the final game. So that should give us a better idea of what will be present in the game, and we'll upload an updated video then. Fallout 76 officially releases for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on November 14th. We want to hear your thoughts, so sound off in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.